Welcome to the Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network.
Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show presented by FanDuel. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired, alongside the star of this show, your friend and mine, former Buffalo Bill John Fina. And you can find him on Twitter at John Fina. Please do us a favor. Please like, please subscribe, whatever platform you are consuming this presentation on. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a review, tell a friend, tweet it, text it, whatever you got to do, all of that good stuff. But we are excited to be here with you for this special show after a Buffalo Bills victory. The Buffalo Bills, as I just said, shocked the world, John Fina, last night, and themselves, I think, on Sunday by hanging in with the Ravens long enough to force that magical must-needed play in a fumble by Derrick Henry, then rallied 16 points to take the lead in a walk-off field goal by 41-year-old, the freshest face in the locker room, Matt Prater, winning, ironically enough, 41-40. Now, this is what I got for you, John. The Buffalo Bills overcame a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit to defeat the Baltimore Ravens 41-40, as I just said. This marked the first time the Bills had come back from a 15-plus point fourth-quarter deficit to win a game since a 17-point fourth quarter comeback against the New York Jets in 1967.
Woo!
Right? They also accomplished the first 41-40 score in NFL history. We talked about that yesterday in the postgame show. They also caused the Ravens to be the first team, and I'm going somewhere with all this, I promise. They also caused the Ravens to be the first team in NFL history to rush for 235 yards and score 40 points and lose. It was 277 and 0 losses. Now it's 277 times and 1 loss. Ravens, Baltimore, got it. And then are you ready for this one, John? The entire AFC East lost this weekend, as did obviously the Ravens, and so did the Chiefs. So I ask you, John Fina.
Yes, sir.
Is this season the last season in the Ralph? Is this possibly a season of destiny? Is that what we're talking about?
Is it anointed? I don't know, but I'm gonna close every day with a prayer, and I'm gonna wake every day with a prayer, because it's absolutely fascinating. I know everyone in Bills Mafia was either sitting on the edge of their seat at Highmark or at home, contemplating whether to leave or turn the TV off and go to bed. And for those of you who did neither, boy, did you get a fantastic finish.
Yes, very much.
I love that all the AFC East lost. The Chiefs going down, Ravens going down. I mean, it was one hell of a weekend of NFL football. I'm still exhausted emotionally from just watching the damn game.
We go through all this stuff, the game, and I'm at the game, right? And I'm driving home, racing home to be online with you. We do the show. It's about an hour, 53 minutes. And then it's like, I got to load it all up as a podcast, do all the work. And then I'm still wired. So I go upstairs and I'm like watching post-game shows and watching like just whatever highlights and NFL Network. And it's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm still wired from the game. Got to go to bed because I'm flying to St. Louis today. I'm dragging ASS all day long. I'm super tired even still, but it is, and it's all worth it. John, hold up your shirt. What is it? It's Victory Monday.
Victory Monday.
If you're
so you made it to St. Louis. You're going to go to a Rams game? Oh wait, they're not there anymore. What is this? The fourth city for the Rams? I don't even know. But hey, one city for the Buffalo Bills and our beloved Queen City of Buffalo. What a treat you got! And speaking of treats, Joe, welcome to the Smokehouse. It's the Off Tackle with John Fina show from Sahlen's. And I don't know if you know this, but in addition to those amazing hot dogs, they do fresh carved off the bone deli meats.
Oh.
Telling you, Sahlen's Packing Company is a 5-generation family-owned business founded in Buffalo in 1869, almost the last time the Bills came back from a 15-point deficit. Headquartered in Buffalo, 110,000 square foot food manufacturing facility. They employ over 100 dedicated employees. These employees help us deliver 15 million pounds of meat and hot dogs around the country. Speaking of around the country, if you don't live in the Buffalo area, your local retailer could possibly carry Sahlen's with over 15,000 retailer locations. And if they don't, if you're in Tucson, Arizona, and you want Sahlen's, Go to Sahlen.com and order your delicious hot dogs today. Thank you, Sahlen, for sponsoring the Off Tackle with John Fina show.
Awesome. So good. And I had some hot dogs this weekend, actually. Some Sahlen. It's always hot dog season, right? Is it ever not hot dog season? So yeah, definitely had some Sahlens this weekend, which was freaking fantastic. But welcome to everybody in the chat. We're gonna do our best to make this football game make some sense. I don't know that we will succeed. Just because I feel much better today, John, having my wits about me. I told you before the show started that, I have done, and we have done so many shows since I started podcasting 2019, and you and I connected in 2020, where the Bills were winning and then found a way to let that win slide or slip away. So like, I've got great notes and we're winning this game and then we lose. This was something I was not prepared for. I was not when it was down to 5 minutes, 4 minutes, and like things are beginning to happen. I stopped taking notes, and I'm still expecting the bad thing, the last shoe to drop, even right down to the field goal by Matt Prater. Whereas, like, I was expecting that to be blocked. I was expecting him to miss it. You and I talked about the fact that it's like 6 seconds left on the game clock, and he's finally taking his steps to the right or the left or whatever it was. And I'm like, snap the football. But
I couldn't take it, man. I was thinking the same thing. The clock was winding down. They snapped the ball at 2 seconds. Of course, when prep for the show, I had to go back and look at some of these horrible defensive plays that we had and some of the silly offensive play calling that we had. So I was kind of reliving it, and I found myself getting sucked in to the same emotional weakness I did last night. The stress was just like, I was like, wait, I know we won the game, but I'm watching this mess over and over. And it was a little grueling, but I'm happy to bring the content to everybody in Bills Mafia. And just so you know, everybody out there, share the show with a friend, like and subscribe, listen to our podcast. We take great pride in what we do, delivering you, locker room perspective, fan perspective, a bit of both from each of us. And Joe and Jerry and I have a great time doing the show, not to mention Anthony Marino, who does a terrific job on his new show coming to our network. So thanks so much for everyone in the comments. Bring your feelings out. You're in a safe space. Let's hear what you went through last night. Let's share.
I just feel so much. I feel like I've got some more sense of which way is up. It was funny because a couple of people texted me and they were like, the show was so funny. It was clear that you were just like, I don't know what to say or what to do. So we're going to try to make some sense of it. We're going to talk about this game a little bit, high level. So as much as we're talking about it, where have you, I know you just talked about the defense and having to go through it, but aside from the stuff that you're going to talk about, some of the plays that you're going to show us, I said last night that I wasn't sure how this game, this type of a loss would affect the Ravens kind of going forward, to lose this way. And you were like, it's just another game. And sure enough, their locker room said that way. What I didn't think about was how much this type of win could potentially galvanize this team and bring this team. Joey Bosa is like, it wasn't the Super Bowl, but it felt like the Super Bowl. Like he was hopping up and down like a 13-year-old kid after this football game on the football field. What can a win like this do this early in the season to make them truly believe we can overcome anything?
Oh, the list is pretty long, Joe. I would have to start with what I think is the most important thing. We got a lot of rookies on the field last night, and that was terrific, especially along the D line. So this is great coaching film. We had Dorian Strong starting at corner, and the amount of experience you get from one game against an elite Baltimore Ravens team it's just irreplaceable. You could play 5 to 10 plays, but it doesn't really have the same impact because the grueling length of the game mentally and physically is really where you tend to grow. And then secondly, I think, this was a good game for Joe Brady to survive because, he's going to go back and look at, why did I run weak zone twice in a row on our second series, right? And why did I throw all those screens when I've got Palmer and Keon and Shakir? And they have a great secondary, the Ravens do, but it'll give him a chance early on. What?
Why am I running all those screens and wide receiver handoffs when I've got Keon and Shakir and whoever? Why am I doing that when I've got Josh Allen? Like
Right,
I
right.
I tweeted at one point, can somebody please call Joe Brady and remind him that Josh Allen is his quarterback? Like, what?
Right, but so you want to run those plays, but I don't think you run them in great succession like they did. And then when they settled down, they started throwing the ball downfield. Early in the game, Josh made one bad throw. We had one drop.
Yeah.
You get it out of your system. You ran them. You work on that timing. It's good to have it on tape. But man alive, go downfield with the guys that you know that you have to trust. For the length of the season. Right, to go deep, we have got to move the ball downfield. Defensively, this is great tape. I mean, it's going to be hard to watch. And I'm going to bring up 3 plays that I never wanted to see again, but I had to bring them up for this podcast. Just run fits and effort. And by and large, in the first half of the game, there just wasn't the tenacity and the viciousness from the trenches on both sides that we really need. It
Right.
was kind of a strange rewatch of the game. I saw one team just exerting far more effort and tenacity. So there's a lot of takeaways from this game.
Yeah.
One of the upsides, decent clock management by
Yeah.
McDermott. They really played it out great in the end. Things that got lost in the game, I thought Codrington was pretty darn good on returns. He didn't get a lot of great blocking, but they're going to have to improve on that, and that's a lot of skill set work on the field work. But I don't think the special teams disappointed, or the kicking game, I should say.
Why don't we talk about things that got lost? Why don't we talk about the factor? What nobody's talking about is the drive with 31 seconds or 32 seconds left at the end of the first half to kick that field goal. Like, nobody's talking, and even the awareness to be like, there was 1 second left on the clock. It was funny because McKenna, she was adamant. Like, so when that whole play happened and the Ravens, who are below us from our seats, started running off the field, McKenna's like yelling, "There's 1 second left! I saw it. There's 1 second left!" And sure enough, like McDermott, Allen, all of them are like, and then the refs gathered in 1 second, get it back out here and kick that field goal. 30 something seconds. Like, that's getting lost in the narrative. Nobody's even talking about it.
Yeah, well, another thing that gets lost in the narrative is when people just have like ridiculous comments. Thanks, Joe Marino, for joining us. I don't know about the amount of handsome here. We're not tipping the scales in any direction, but good to see you on the broadcast. And you're right, Joe. I mean, and you think about the kicker from my alma mater that boinked one off the upright, right? That's what gave us that ability to win the game and not just tie it.
Right.
So
right.
there are tiny little things, luck-wise and execution-wise, that really, in the end, winnowed down to this moment of final drive. One thing that will not get lost was Ed Oliver turning it on and just becoming a complete beast.
Yes, for sure. Well, why don't you get into a little bit of what you prepared for us for this episode? I'm excited to kind of see it because we go into this with fresh eyes for me, so that I can react in the moment. So, what you got?
Okay. All right. Well, my first clip is entitled "Inside Trap," and I'm going to let it run here. Bring it up to the screen. Let's see if it actually comes on up. Yes, it is. I'm going to run it back one more time and let it run through. So this is actually a really, really interesting wrinkle. I was talking last night about how the Bills have added some wrinkles to their run game, and I'll get to one of those later. But let me tell you something right here. So take a look at the center in this play. The Ravens center just basically abandons the nose and goes to the backside linebacker. The left tackle, is going to track for the inside linebacker, and they're going to create an inside wham or a track. And all they really do here is create a seam for the big guy, right? So I'm going to press play. I'm going to stop it right there. It didn't really stop, which I despise. Bring it back. Okay. So the center is going to escape. The right guard is going to slam down on the nose, and you get this natural seam right here. The left tackle is tracking for Milano, and the center is tracking for Bernard. And it's really a terrific wrinkle on inside zone or inside trap. You can see you got the pin block on Bernard, and now you got Ronnie Stanley climbing Matt Milano, and this just opens up. This gap opens up very quickly. Now, this could be a new blocking scheme for them. I don't track the Ravens very, very closely, but all you need with Derrick Henry is that.
Right. Once he slips that hole,
right.
He's about to truck some small defensive back, and even if the defensive back is 6'2", he's still small compared to Derrick Henry.
Right, and the key to this play is our linebackers were not getting their run fits aggressively. They were sitting and catching. And when these big offensive linemen climb our linebackers, you can say they're a little too small or not. I don't care. But they're not violently attacking the block that's coming to them.
Right.
And what you have is now you get a Taylor Rapp or you get a Bishop.
What's Taylor Rapp thinking in this moment right here?
He's thinking, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for some linebackers to take this guy down. Now, Taylor Rapp.
Can I get a second Guardian cap? That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, he's not in bad position, but this is a hard guy to bring down. And right. I'm starting to think the little guys taking this big cat down should start going up around the top and start climbing up on him and ride him like a amusement ride until the cavalry
to slow him down. Gotcha.
Yeah, just to slow him down, because what's happening now is just not working for us. So
what's interesting, as you let it play, what's interesting about my takeaway from you is I've seen some stuff obviously on social media, and I saw some stuff, reports leading up to this game and even after the game, that the Bills, quote unquote, just don't have an answer for Derrick Henry, which the Bills by and large have not, even when he was a Tennessee Titan. However, it's interesting to hear you say that this is a kind of a new concept or a new take on a blocking scheme, which means that the Ravens are actively not resting on their laurels, not being like, oh, we got Derrick Henry, we'll just run him down the throats of the Buffalo Bills defense, who's running a nickel 4-2, which the Bills, we know ran some 4-3 yesterday in this game. They adapted a little bit. But it's interesting that they are trying to stay ahead of what the Bills are looking to do defensively to keep those legs moving.
And I didn't add this clip, but it came in late in the third and fourth quarter. I believe the fourth quarter. We went to the 4-3. We walked Milano up on the end of the line, and we had him playing more like a Sam position. So he was going to take on Andrews, the blocking tight end for Baltimore. He's a receiving tight end, but obviously has to block on run plays. I didn't add that, but it was a good wrinkle. But in addition to that, what we also had was more violent attack by the linebackers.
Right.
So I'm going to drop this one off here. I'm going to go to the next one. This one's Bernard and Milano, and this is just an awful run fit by Terrell Bernard. I'm going to just pop it up here and let it run.
So pause that real quick while you pull it up. So you and Jerry kind of established yesterday that Bernard in our postgame show didn't have the best game. Was that kind of affirmed in you rewatching it, that he didn't really have the best game yesterday?
He really did not have a great game. And, I'm a huge fan of Terrell Bernard on this particular play. And if you're seeing it right now with me, you look at Bernard and he's kind of looking around. And this happened a lot during the game. Our defense was a little bit confused by formation and motion, which Baltimore did a fantastic job of, especially to get Zay Flowers loose. Right. And in this particular case, Terrell Bernard is still setting up the defense by the time the ball is snapped. Right. So he's looking around, the ball's snapped, but you see now the guard is flanking him already. And what he has to do here is he's got to get to the outside shoulder and press the offensive tackle to create a space for Milano to fill. Now Milano's just as guilty here, because instead of scraping shallow, he goes for depth. So you get Bernard pinned, and in Milano's next step, he overruns the play, and now there's a natural cutback. Yeah. But all starts with Bernard. So Bernard has to come and fit this outside. You got Dorian Williams on the edge. We're in a 4-3. Dorian, with what Rousseau is doing, has got to get to the line of scrimmage and flank the outside, turn it into Bernard. Bernard has to get the outside shoulder of the guard and turn it back into Milano. And Milano's got to stay shallow enough that he can come across and make the tackle, none of which happens. And there's the big guy. Now he's back into the secondary again, a missed tackle, and the ensuing touchdown. This was just a horrible rep. We didn't have anybody affecting Derrick Henry on this play.
Yeah, he's other than Cole Bishop swiping at his ankles, he's untouched.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to lay this all on the feet of the linebackers, because the defensive front four have got to play better too. They not only do they have to press and extend their guy, but they also have to shed and affect the path of Derrick Henry, and they didn't get that done either.
Right.
There were about 4 of these. I only chose 3. They were just getting harder and harder to watch. I mean, I don't like reliving this right now, and I don't mean to belittle our linebacking crew or anything of that nature. Look, I've been on the ass end of a few of these in my day too, where I end up, smacking my coccyx on the ground in the back of my head and thinking to myself, what in the hell did I just do? You just hope you only get one of them a game, but we just stacked them up, Joe. We just had one after another, followed by this one where I think the name of this clip is just too long because everybody just blew this one up, from Milano to Bernard.
This is the only time that we actually caught Derrick Henry from behind when he had gotten away. So this was the one time that it actually happened. So, like in the history of us playing Derrick Henry, normally when he gets away, he's gone. And Dorian Strong caught him.
Yeah, and if you look on the right side of your screen, I'll run it real quick. Look who shoots in here at the last second, has a chance to make the play, is Rapp, right?
Right.
So this is on Rapp too. Taron Johnson later in the game, fantastic job filling from the backside, getting Derrick Henry down to like a 2 or 3 yard gain. And this is all you're fighting for, is maintaining gap integrity and somebody making a play. So again, we've got Terrell Bernard kind of sitting and catching. I got to run this back just to the start. Matt Milano on the edge. Bishop is at fault here too. I mean, nobody just wants to come up. And when I say Bishop is at fault, he's coming up and he's fronting up the blocker, but he's not putting any will on him, right? So he's not affecting him. He's ostensibly sitting down to read and then getting blocked. So he's not coming off a block. Terrell Bernard gets pinned on the backside. This is a disaster. And it's all about being aggressive and getting your run fits. And we didn't do either of those things. We weren't aggressive. We didn't get the right run fit. There's Terrell Bernard, who just got absolutely obliterated. I'm going to run it back for you. He's not going to – he had about 3 of these, Joe, in the game last night where he ended up on his hiney. It was pretty rough. And yes, I did just say hiney on our broadcast.
Well, you said never mind. You said something earlier too that was like a what?
Coccyx. That's the bone. That's the bone back there. You hit that thing hard enough. That's no fun. All right.
You do exactly. Hang on. We got a super chat. Real quick.
Oh yeah, bring it up.
Aaron Knight sent a super chat, and it was disconnected. So this is the question he asked. In terms of personnel, is this just a bad matchup for our defense, or is it more scheme related?
All right, first question first. Everybody is a bad matchup for Derrick Henry, okay?
Yes,
but not everybody suffers these wounds and slashes like we do. And the reason is the answer, in part, is your second question. Is it the scheme? It's not the scheme, it's the execution thereof. So we sat back on a number of these plays and caught offensive linemen, and we missed our run fits. And when I say a run fit, if you're pursuing and you have to have outside leverage, if you get pinned on the inside, you didn't get your fit. Part of that becomes, and there's a number of pass plays that I was watching, our secondary, they had so many eyes on Lamar Jackson that they weren't tracking Zay Flowers and Bateman running through our secondary. So they were losing guys because they were looking for the forest rather than the tree. Like deal with the guy in front of you in a violent manner, get to the spot that you have to own, and you have a good chance. We sat back and we caught. We didn't attack. That changed in the fourth quarter. We really started attacking. Now, one could argue, well, the Ravens thought they had it locked up and they weren't given the same effort. I would argue that if you watch the game on the All 22 or the broadcast, you see an elevated play from our defensive front 6 or 7
in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. End of the third and part of the fourth quarter.
Why don't you do the last read from our sponsor? I'll pull up the graphic, and if you're ready.
Hey, joining us on the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network is the original chicken wing, the Anchor Bar, founded by Frank and Teresa Bellissimo in 1935. The Anchor Bar initially specialized in Italian cuisine. The restaurant gained national acclaim when it invented the original Buffalo chicken wing in 1964, quickly becoming a local treasure and a must-visit for food lovers. Currently serving over 15 million pounds of chicken wings fresh annually.
Insane.
Anchor Bar's bottled wing sauce is available in over 4,000 supermarkets worldwide. And look, they have 17 franchise locations, and their newest one of them is opening in Tucson, Arizona. I'm so excited. When people go to Buffalo and they ask me, where should I go? I tell them, you know what? You have to go to the original Anchor Bar. It is just one of those things you got to do when you go to Buffalo. Customers can order the famous chicken wings online. They get shipped across the country. If you don't have a location in your hometown yet, keyword yet, this is a great option to have them shipped overnight to your front door, ready for the next Bills matchup. Anchor Bar is a proud recipient of the prestigious James Beard Award. James Beard is known as the Oscar of foods. Anchor Bar received this medal for their wings and other medals for their sauces. Thank you, Anchor Bar, for sponsoring the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Podcast.
Very, very good. Well done on that read. It's always weird it's always not weird. It's always you always have to settle in a little bit, like to the new reads and stuff like that. Last night,
lucky you, Tracy. You're getting one down in Raleigh. Woohoo!
I was frazzled a little bit even doing that as far as that goes. So Sandman says he's too far from Buffalo, but I don't know where you are, Sandman, but there's a good shot that one of those 17 locations is close by. We were surprised. John and I were surprised when we heard that they had 7 when we were negotiating the sponsorship, and they said, yeah, we've got 17 locations. It was like, wait, what? And they were like, oh, yeah, we want to franchise more. So enough about Anchor Bar, which we love, and we're so thankful to be partnering with them as far as that goes. Let's take the last, 3, 4, 5 minutes. If there's any questions in the comment section, if you guys have any questions, any more questions about the game, please throw them in there. As we move on to this next game this next week.
One more play, Joe. One more play.
Oh, I didn't realize you had 4. Sorry, I'm on my laptop.
I got 4, and I couldn't just, have bad plays, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about how the Ravens and Derrick Henry are continuing to evolve that run scheme, based on the types and personnel of defenses that they play. The Buffalo Bills do that too, and we can all remember split zone, where the tackle pulls across a formation. We give the ball to James Cook. He takes his time. He finds a spot. The Bills added a wrinkle to split zone, and this is pretty cool. They motion Khalil Shakir into a kind of a hip, I like to call it hip position. And then what they're going to do, they're going to fake the ball to the running back here, but they're going to run split zone with Khalil Shakir. So, the defense, if you're reading James Cook, and you oughta, because he's a good football player, you're going to start moving basically screen left. And then we're going to come back and run this play with Khalil Shakir. So I'm going to let this run. Keep your eyes on Khalil Shakir and Deion Dawkins. Deion kicks out. Khalil, covered in bacon grease and beef tallow, finds a little spot. And I go back to what I always say, Joe, running plays are designed to get 5 yards, 4 yards. Anything better than that is a win. I'll play it again for you. This is a good little wrinkle. Quick fake, inside handoff, Khalil Shakir, up through the middle, puts us in deeper into the red zone. Good stuff from the Buffalo Bills evolution. And that wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed John's breakdowns on the Sahlen's Off Tackle Show with John Fina. Share it with a friend. Hopefully you learned a little bit about football. I know I do every time I dig back into it.
That's pretty cool. Good stuff. Good show. Good information as always. So coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, on the beat, we have Matt Perino going to be joining us for that episode to talk about just everything that happened and what we saw. And I was texting with him today, just being like, that game was insane, to which he very much reiterated back to me, absolutely insane. Wednesday, the Big O Show. And then this weekend, we have episode 2 of Mafia Bets with Dan Frederick, Buffalo Freddy. Excited about that. He is I picked the right guy as it pertains to finding like the dude to do this, because not only is he active and does he bet a lot, but what he does works. So if you are a sports bettor or you're into gaming, those types of things, feel free to tune in. Would love to have you. Would love some feedback, as this is something that's very different from what we are used to doing on this network. And then, as always, Anthony Marino with the walkthrough on Saturday. Just your last final preparation as it pertains to getting ready for this weekend's football game. Any final comments before I get us out of here?
Hey, didn't get a chance to interact with people in the comments too much. Thank you for coming. We're loving doing the show. We're still a little emotionally drained, just like you are from this victory. But man, I am so glad our beloved Buffalo Bills proved Joe Miller wrong and John Fina wrong, because we both picked it as an L. Can't
100%.
believe they survived, Joe.
100%. 100%. So the Buffalo Bills are 1-0. They're on top of the world and the AFC East as well as the AFC. Excited for the season. Excited to see where it goes. But yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show, presented by FanDuel on the Overreaction Sports Network. It's so good to have every single one of you guys joining us. But for me, for John, for Jerry, for Ant, and for Dan, for all of us here at Overreaction, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.